morning, and welcome to my live stream tonight. YouTube page Sports Bonanza John. My name is John. Appreciate a like and subscribe on that page if you like the content I do here. Also on Twitch tonight at Sport Guru John. On Twitch and also on Kick, Sports Kick John. Not on there tonight, but I do have some content on there as well. That's Sports Kick John. Getting you set tonight for some Major League Baseball. The Cubs and the Cardinals, one of the best rivalries in Major League Baseball. Game one of this series last night went to the Cardinals 5-0 as we get set for game two of this series tonight in St. Louis, Cubs and Cardinals. Before we begin anything on this page, I do on this stream always begin with a prayer, so let's start with that tonight. Lord Jesus, thank you very much for this day. Thank you for this beautiful day, and look over all these players and fans tonight and keep everybody safe around and here, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray this to you. Amen. All right, Cubs and Cardinals tonight. Game two of a three-game set. The Cubs coming off a 5-0 loss in game one of this series. Cubs continuing to lose ground in the National League Central to the Milwaukee Brewers. As the Cubs, 18 games over 500 at the All-Star break, but they have struggled to just a 9-10 record so far post-All-Star break. They're taking on a Cardinals team tonight that is, they're clinging to the 500 mark, and truthfully, for all intents and purposes, even though we do still have a little less than 50 games left in the season, their postseason chances are looking bleaker and bleaker. They cannot stay on a real big streak here, and they continue to fall, and they're going to have to go on some kind of streak here to stay. They're not out of it in the playoff picture, but they are just too inconsistent right now, you would think, for them to be a serious threat for a postseason. But this is a team that can get it turned around. Pitching matchup tonight in St. Louis, it's going to be Colin Ray tonight taking the hill for the Cubs. Andre Pallante will get the start on the mound tonight for the Cardinals. In the second of three from these long-time Major League Baseball rivals in St. Louis tonight. Cardinals once again sending Pallante to the mound tonight. Pallante will be making his 23rd start of the season. He has a 6-8 record. Little bit of an inflated ERA, 4.57. 40 walks and 80 strikeouts. So a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. You'd like it to be a little bit higher than that for a starting pitcher. Let's see what he can do against this Cubs lineup, who was just red hot before the All-Star break, cooled off considerably since the All-Star break. And as I mentioned before, they were clinging to serious hopes of winning the National League Central. But with this 9-10 post-All-Star break and the way the Brewers are playing, the Cubs just continue to lose ground to the Milwaukee Brewers. Still leading the wild card in the National League. But the National League Central Division chances, with the Brewers playing as well as they are not looking quite as strong as they did right before the All-Star break. This is a team that still has a very legit postseason shot and is still looking to make a deep run in postseason play this year are the Cubs. And as I mentioned, the Cardinals just need to get on some kind of roll here, need to get on some kind of winning streak if they look to get themselves back in the playoff picture. Again, they're not out of it. They are a game over 500, but you would think they would have to get on some kind of 7-8 game winning streak here in these last 47, 48 games of the season, 45 games of the season, in order to give themselves a real legit playoff shot. So we are just about set for the second of this three-game series tonight between the Cubs and the Cardinals. Cubs lineup looks like this. Bush is going to lead off at first base. Suzuki DHing tonight will bat second. Tucker in right field bats third. Kelly, the catcher, is the cleanup hitter. Pete Crow Armstrong in center field will bat fifth. Happ in left field will bat sixth. Horner in second base will bat seventh. Dansby Swanson will bat eighth for the Cubs tonight. And rounding out the batting order, Shaw, the third baseman for the Cubs. He will bat ninth. 89 degrees at first pitch in St. Louis. A packed house in St. Louis, as it usually is for a Cubs-Cardinals matchup. And again, Palante on the mound making his 23rd start, ERA just over 4.5. The 40 walks and 80 strikeouts, the 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, a ratio you would like to see a little bit better than that for a starting pitcher. As he gets set to face this Cubs batting order tonight. As we are just about set for the first pitch from St. Louis, as Michael Busch will be the leadoff hitter tonight for the Cubs. Busch hitting at .264 on the season. He's got 21 home runs. He's drove in 61. He is third in the Cubs lineup on home runs this year with his 21. As Palante finishes up his warm-up tosses, and we are just about set to go on a Saturday night in the Gateway City. One of the best backdrops for a stadium in Major League Baseball. The St. Louis skyline in the background with the Gateway Arch. Ballpark Village back there in left field. Michael Busch will come up to the plate against Palante to get this game started on this Saturday evening. The second of three between these two longtime rivals, and the first pitch from St. Louis. We're underway. Strike one. Palante steps right back in and delivers the 0-1 pitch to Michael Busch. Fouled away, and it's quickly 0-2. Busch calls time as he steps back in the box and awaits Palante's 0-2 pitch. And here it comes. That's down low in the dirt, 1-2. Fans still filing in St. Louis on an early Saturday evening. And a 1-2 pitch coming. That's into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Busch is going to have at least two here as it's picked up out in right field, and Busch will hold at second, and Busch has himself a leadoff double to begin this ball game tonight. And it will bring up Seiya Suzuki. 251 hitter, 27 home runs. He's drove in 84. He is the Cubs' RBI leader and tied for the home run lead for the Cubs with Pete Crow Armstrong. So a good start tonight for the Cubs as Michael Busch delivers a leadoff double to right and an early scoring opportunity for the Cubs tonight as they were shut out last night in Game 1 of this series. The pitch on the way right down the middle, strike one. The strike one pitch on the way from Palante to Suzuki. Inside corner, strike two. Suzuki looked back down. I don't think he was too fond of that strike two call. I think he thought it was a little inside. The 0-2 pitch. That's a little high, 1-2. Bill Miller is behind the plate tonight calling the balls and strikes. Edwin Jimenez over at first base. Ben May, umpire at second base, and Roberto Ortiz, who called the balls and strikes last night, is over at third. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. Suzuki sends it to second, fielded, and a little bit of a bobble there, but still in time to get Suzuki by a half step at first base. Sagassi looked like he bobbled that ball a little bit there at second base and was just able to get it over to first in time to retire Suzuki for the first out. And that will bring up Kyle Tucker. Tucker hitting .272, 18 home runs. He's drove in 61 on the season. That did advance Bush over to third on the ground out with one out. And the pitch on the way to Kyle Tucker. Swing and a miss, strike one. Shadows already covering the infield, so that's not going to be a factor from the pitcher to the batter, one in the sunlight and one in the shade, as the shade has already covered the whole infield. 1-1 the count now as that pitch is low. Palante looks in on Tucker and delivers the 1-1 pitch. Into right field, and that's going to give the Cubs an early 1-0 lead as Bush comes in to score. Kyle Tucker an RBI single and 3 batters into the game. The Cubs lead at 1-0. As that will now bring up the cleanup hitter, the Cubs catcher, Carson Kelly. Kelly hitting .268, 13 home runs for Kelly. He's drove in 37 on the year. Kelly fouls it away, first base side, strike one. Palante looks in, looks back to Tucker at first base, and delivers the 0-1. Inside, that almost got Kelly. It's a ball and a strike. One delivery on the way from Palante to Kelly. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now. Palante's 1-2 to Kelly. Instead, it's a throw over to first as Tucker dives back in. Palante's 1-2 pitch to Kelly. Outside, Tucker takes off, and Tucker's in at second base. Tucker steals his 24th base of the season. And he puts himself in scoring position with one out. It's a pretty good throw there by the catcher Pozo, but Tucker just too much speed as he beats it. And there's a base hit for Kelly into right field. Tucker rounding third and will hold right there. So it's going to be runners at the corners. And then the ball gets away and Tucker scores. The ball got away from the pitcher. The ball was just kind of sitting there on the infield. Kelly took off for second and Tucker says, "Why not? I'm coming home." As the Cardinals got a little lackadaisical there on the throw back into the infield, and Tucker steals a run, it's 2-0. It should be first and third. Instead, it's a runner at second and a second run coming in. The throw came in right here. It got past the pitcher, and then it just kind of sat there. Nobody went after it, and great heads-up base running. Tucker noticed that and he came in from third base. As that will bring up the Cubs' fine young hitter, Pete Crow Armstrong. A .261 hitter, 27 home runs. He's drove in 78. And Kelly alert as well with that ball getting away as he took second base. As Pete Crow Armstrong fouls it off for strike one. The strike one pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong from Palante. Outside and high, 1-1. Palante looks in on Crow Armstrong and delivers the 1-1. On the ground to first, backhanded. The throw over to Palante covering first for out number 2. Kelly advances to third, now with 2 outs. And the batter will be Ian Happ with 2 outs. Happ hitting .232 on the year, 16 home runs. He's drove in 54. Runner at third with 2 outs. 2 already in the inning for the Cubs. And the pitch to Happ is down low. Nice stop back there. Pozo with a good stop to keep that from going to the backstop and getting another run in. It's the 1-0 pitch. That's down low again, 2-0. Another good stop by Pozo behind the plate. Comes the 2-0 pitch. That misses. Ball 3. Now 3-0. Here's the 3-0. You would think Happ would be taking a pitch or two here. And he does take one here, strike one. Palante looks in to Happ and delivers the 3-1. On the ground to second. And that will do it for the Cubs in the first inning. They get 2, strand a runner at third. We head to the bottom of the first in St. Louis. It's the Cubs 2, the Cardinals coming to bat. Against the Cubs starting pitcher tonight, which is Colin Ray. Ray's numbers on the year for the Cubs, getting his 20th start of the season. He is 8-5, ERA 4.23, 29 walks, 79 strikeouts, 110 and 2/3 innings for Ray. As he looks for his 9th win of the season and inherits a 2-run lead before he even throws a pitch in this game. As the night goes on, we will update you on a full schedule around Major League Baseball tonight. 3 games have gone final. We'll run down the complete scoreboard here at the top of next half inning. But here for the Cardinals, Already down 2-0. It's going to be Lars Nootbaar to lead it off in the bottom of the first. Nootbaar hitting .229 on the year. He's got 12 home runs. He's drove in 40. Against the Cubs starter, Colin Ray. And this second of 3 games of the weekend series between these two long-time Major League rivals, the Cubs and the Cardinals. One of the best rivalries in the game. I would say the second best rivalry in Major League Baseball behind the Dodgers and the Giants. As Nootbaar will step in against Colin Ray here to lead off the bottom of the first for the Cardinals. As Ray finishes his warm-up tosses. And delivers the first pitch to Nootbaar. Strike one. Here comes the strike one pitch from Ray. That caught the knees, 0-2. The strike two pitch on the way. Foul ball. Nootbaar gets a piece to stay alive. Nootbaar steps back in the box and gets set for the 0-2 pitch from Colin Ray. And here it comes. Up high, a ball and 2 strikes. Ray looks in again and delivers quickly the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and a pitch way inside. Got Nootbaar to chase. And that's a strikeout for Colin Ray. And it'll bring up Herrera, who's DHing tonight for the Cardinals. Herrera hitting .301 on the season. 10 home runs. He's drove in 42. With 1 out and nobody on for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the first. The pitch from Ray is a strike. Strike one pitch. That's right down the middle. Strike two. Quickly, 0-2 on Herrera. Ray steps off momentarily. And back ready to go. And the 2-strike pitch on the way from Ray to Herrera. Just missed outside. A ball, 2 strikes. Tried to get Herrera to chase that one. Didn't miss by much. 1-2 pitch. That's into right field. That is foul. And we'll do another 1-2 pitch. Herrera steps back in and will await another 1-2 offering from Colin Ray. Here it comes. It's called strike 3. Right there at the knees, Herrera strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ray to begin the bottom of the first. And the batter will be, with 2 out and nobody on, Burleson. Burleson hitting .285, 14 home runs. He's drove in 50. Burleson playing left field tonight. He also plays first base for the Cardinals, as that's ball one. Rays 0-1 pitch to Burleson. Chopper, Ray get fields and will tag Burleson himself, and a 1-2-3, bottom of the first for Colin Ray. Inning in the books at Busch Stadium. It's the Cubs 2 and the Cardinals nothing. As a battle of a team in currently second place in the National League Central, the Chicago Cubs, and the Cardinals, who currently sit in fourth place in the National League Central. Doing battle in the second of a three-game series. So after an inning, let's run down the Major League Baseball scoreboard for you. Three finals from earlier today. Game one of a doubleheader in Atlanta. Braves beat the Marlins 7-1. Yankees in the Bronx get the 5-4 win over the Astros. Nationals beat the Giants out in San Francisco 4-2. Games currently in progress. Bottom of the fourth inning in Detroit. Back and forth game so far. Angels have taken the lead over the Tigers 4-3. Top of the fourth in Pittsburgh. Pirates lead the Reds 1-0. Pirates have been on a little bit of a roll here recently. In Baltimore, Orioles lead the A's 3-2. That's after one inning. So it looks like we're getting in for a slugfest in that one. Bottom of the second on the south side of Chicago. Cleveland leads the White Sox 1-0. Bottom of the second in Minneapolis. Royals and Twins are scoreless. Top of the second in Milwaukee, Mets lead the Brewers 1-0. And underway in game two of the doubleheader between the Marlins and Braves, that's scoreless after one. Rangers lead the Phillies in Arlington 1-0. That game's heading to the top of the second inning. And later on, coming up here in about 45 minutes, Rockies and the Diamondbacks out there in Phoenix. And about an hour away from first pitch in San Diego between the Red Sox and Padres. The game of the weekend, the series of the weekend, is out at Dodger Stadium. The Blue Jays and the Dodgers, two first-place teams battling it out there. And then in a couple hours in Seattle, it will be the Mariners hosting the Rays. That's the look at your Major League Baseball scoreboard on this Saturday. And here it is 2-0 Cubs as we begin the second inning in St. Louis. It's going to be 7, 8, and 9 for the Cubs, as Horner will lead off the top of the second for Chicago. Horner is a .292 hitter. He's got 4 home runs. He's drove in 47 on the year. And the first pitch, top of the second inning, from Palante to Horner, is a ball. And now quickly, the 1-0 pitch is a strike down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yadier Molina back in the Cardinals dugout. He's a guest coach for this series. The 1-1 is inside. Ball 2 now, 2-1. Yadier Molina, great Cardinals career behind the plate. As here comes the 2-1 offering from Palante to Horner. Palante delivers. Up high, 3-1 now. It's the crowd continuing to file in St. Louis on a Saturday evening. 89-degree evening in St. Louis, Missouri. And the 3-1 pitch on the way is a strike. Horner was headed to first base. He thought it was ball 4. Instead, it's now a full count. The 3-2 payoff pitch from Palante to Horner. Is fouled away. We'll do it again. Horner will be followed by Swanson and Shaw here in the top of the second for the Cubs. And we've got another 3-2 pitch from Palante to Horner. That's in the air to right. Oh, and over a few steps in right field for the catch is Walker for out number 1 in the Cubs' second inning. And it will bring up Dansby Swanson. Cubs shortstop. Hitting .245 on the season. He's got 18 home runs. He's drove in 55. As Swanson steps in against Palante. And the offering. Right down the middle, strike one. The strike one pitch to Swanson. That's a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Palante looks and delivers the 1-1 to Swanson. Up high again, 2-1. Two-one offering on the way. Swanson fouls it away, right field side, and that evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Palante steps back in and delivers the 2-2 pitch to Dansby Swanson. And here it comes. On the ground to third. The turn and the throw to first late. Swanson beats it out with an infield single. Gorman made the play. It was a tough play as Gorman had to move to his left. He turned, and then with that extra turn, it allowed Swanson to beat it at first base. So an infield single for Dansby Swanson. And it will bring up Matt Shaw, the number 9 hitter for the Cubs. Shaw hitting at .222. He's got 7 home runs. He's drove in 26 on the year. And time called by the home plate umpire, Bill Miller. Shaw steps in and awaits Palante's pitch. Strike one. Swanson takes off, and the throw gets away into right field, and Swanson's going to end up at third base. Swanson had second base stolen, and then the throw got away into right field, and Swanson was able to take third. So that's already 2 errors in the game on the Cardinals. As that throw was nowhere even close. So a runner at third with 1 out for the Cubs. That's going to be a throwing error on Pozo. And the 0-1 pitch from Palante to Shaw. Foul back. It's 0-2. Palante could use a strikeout right here, already down 2-0, and a runner at third base. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. Nice stop by Pozo on a pitch low and outside. That's about the 3rd or 4th stop he's made behind the plate to prevent a wild pitch. It is now a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Shaw. And here comes another 1-2 pitch. Or a 1-2 pitch, I should say. Inside, 2-2. Top of the order for the Cubs, Bush is on deck. Shaw steps back in and awaits Palante's 2-2 pitch. In the dirt again, Pozo with a nice stop. And Shaw's battled back from being down 0-2 to a full count now, 3-2. Three-two payoff pitch from Palante to Shaw. Palante steps off. Swanson standing at third base. And the 3-2. Up high, ball 4. Shaw battles back from being down 0-2 to drawing a walk. And the Cubs have runners at first and third with one out for Bush. Bush led off the game with a double. And he scored in the 2-run first inning for the Cubs. Now we have a meeting on the mound. As Palante already at 42 pitches here in the second inning. So after the brief meeting on the mound, Palante gets set to work to Michael Bush for a second time already as the lineup resets to the top of the order. Bush hammers it deep to right field. Back it goes, and it is gone. Michael Bush, a line drive home run to right. A 3-run blast, and it's 5-0 Cubs in the second. That was a rocket of a line drive to right field, and Michael Bush clears him. Bush goes deep for the 22nd time this year. RBI 62, 63, and 64. And a lot of Cubs fans in attendance in St. Louis, as there always are. And they are on their feet right now, seeing their Cubs take a 5-0 lead here in the second. Here's Suzuki, and Suzuki fouls it off. That took no time to get over the right field wall. The strike one pitch to Suzuki. Suzuki lines it into left field. That's going to get down and go to the wall. Suzuki rounds first, heading for second. The throw offline, and Suzuki has a double. It is a hit parade right now for the Cubs, with their third extra base hit of the game. And it will bring up Kyle Tucker. And Palante really struggling tonight against this Cubs lineup. And he probably is not going to be much longer for this game. So Tucker steps in. And the pitch down low. Again, a nice stop behind the plate. 1-0 the count on Kyle Tucker. Drove in a run and scored in the first. Suzuki the lead from second, and the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike. Comes the 1-1 pitch from Palante to Tucker. Down low, 2-1. Two-one delivery from Palante to Kyle Tucker. Tucker in the air to right. This one's going to stay in the park. Calling out there is the right fielder Walker for the catch, and Suzuki has to hold it second. One away, or I'm sorry, two down now for the Cubs here in the second. And we'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Kelly. Kelly 1 for 1. He singled his first time up against Palante back in the first inning. Runner at second, 2 outs. 3 in for the Cubs on the 3-run home run earlier this inning, and that almost hits Kelly. Ball 1. Palante looks in and delivers the 1-0 pitch to Carson Kelly. That's way high, 2-0. So a quick start tonight for the Cubs, as has the Cardinals in a pretty deep hole here early on. And they're looking for more here as the 2-0 pitch to Kelly is fouled off third base side, 2-1. Suzuki standing at second with 2 outs, as Palante has already crossed the 50 pitch mark, and he's not through the second inning yet, and he delivers the 2-1 pitch to Carson Kelly. Kelly lines it into right. That's going to be a base hit. Suzuki rounding third. Here comes the throw home. It's late. RBI single for Kelly, and it's 6-0 Cubs. And the early run fest continues for the Cubs in this one, as Pete Crow Armstrong will step up, the 8th batter of the inning for the Cubs. Cubs, 6 runs on 7 hits in this game so far against Palante. And the catcher Pozo going out to have a word with his pitcher. And here comes Marmol, and that I think is going to be it for Palante. He does not even make it out of the second inning tonight for the Cardinals, as the Cubs have broke loose for 6 runs off of Palante, who has a very short night, 1 2/3 innings. And the Cardinals in the second inning are already going to the bullpen. And he's 6 runs already given up for Palante, and he's still responsible for the runner at first base, as Gordon Graceffo will be the new pitcher for the Cardinals. He'll be on for the 17th time. He's got a 3-0 record. A little high of an ERA, 5.65. 6 walks, 26 strikeouts, 28 2/3 innings. But not what the manager Marmol wanted to see, having to go to the bullpen in the second inning tonight. Inning and 2/3, all he gets out of his starter, Palante. 7 hits, 6 runs, and all of them have been earned to this point. And again, he is still responsible for the runner at first base. So it is going to be a heavy, heavy bullpen night for the Cardinals, it appears. As Graceffo comes in, inheriting a runner at first with 2 outs. And the Cubs in a 6-0 lead in the top of the second. If you're a Cardinal fan, the good news in this game, it is still very early in this game. We're only in the second inning. But a huge offensive production by the Cubs early on in this one. Has them ahead 6-0 as the Cubs look to also even the season series with the Cardinals. Cardinals currently lead the season series 3-2. As Pete Crow Armstrong will be the hitter Graceffo starts off with here in the top of the second inning. And the first pitch is hit to second. That was a rocket. The throw over to first, and Graceffo throws one pitch and finally gets the Cardinals out of the second inning. But the Cubs plate 4. The big blow, the 3-run home run to right by Bush. And we go to the bottom of the second at Bush. It's the Cubs 6, the Cardinals nothing. Cardinals will have 4, 5, and 6. Contreras, Wynn, and Gorman due up here at the bottom of the second inning. As I mentioned, the Cubs and Cardinals, this is one of the best rivalries in Major League Baseball. 2 long time rivals. Been going at it a long time in Major League Baseball. And 2 of the best sports cities in America as well, Chicago and St. Louis. Big fan support. City the St. Louis has always been a city that has supported the Cardinals. They used to sell out every game at Busch Stadium. Attendance has dropped off a little bit here the last couple, 2-3 years, with the Cardinals struggling a little bit over the last couple, 2-3 years. And they're hovering right around the 500 mark this year. Still trying to keep themselves alive in the playoff picture in the National League. But they're going to have to go on some kind of, you would think, about a 7, 8, 9 game winning streak here to get themselves back in the running in the playoff picture as they come in a game over 500. And in a big hole in this one, 6-0. As we go to the bottom of the second, it's going to be Contreras leading it off in the bottom of the second for the Cardinals. First baseman for the Cardinals hitting .259. 16 home runs. He's drove in 65. Contreras is the home run and RBI leader in this Cardinals lineup. And they're going to have to get some kind of rally going here, already down by 6. But again, it is still early. We're only in the bottom of the second inning, so there is still time for the Cardinals as they go up against Colin Ray, the starter for the Cubs tonight. So the line is now complete on Palante, with Graceffo getting out of the second inning. 1 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk, no strikeouts, 53 pitches in an inning and 2/3 for Palante. So here's Contreras leading it off in the bottom of the second for the Cardinals, looking to get a rally started. And the first pitch, bottom 2, coming from Ray to Contreras. Contreras shows bunt and takes it high for ball 1. Contreras steps back in and awaits the 1-0 pitch from Ray. Showing bunt again, pulls it back. It's 2-0. Contreras awaits Ray's 2-0 pitch. Here it is. Again showing bunt, and now it's 3-0. Three and 0, the count to Wilson Contreras, as Ray delivers the 3-0. There's a strike down the middle, 3-1. Contreras has showed bunt every time, all the 4 pitches in this at bat so far. Doesn't show it there, and that's a walk. So there's a walk to lead off the bottom of the second. So That's the last thing you want if you're Ray. You have a 6-0 lead and you give up a leadoff 5-pitch walk to Contreras in the bottom of the second. And it will bring up the Cardinals shortstop, Mason Wynn. Wynn hitting .272. He's got 8 home runs on the season. He's drove in 42. Cardinals have their first base runner with that leadoff walk, and the pitch on the way to Wynn. Fouls it away, strike one. Ray steps back in and delivers the 0-1 pitch to Mason Wynn. Wynn sends it in the air to left field, barely having to move out there in left field, and the catch made by Ian Happ for the first out in the bottom of the second. One away for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the second, and it will bring up the Cardinals third baseman, Nolan Gorman. Hitting .224 on the year, 10 home runs, 33 runs batted in for Gorman. Swing and a miss, strike one. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Ray to Gorman. Strike two at the knees. It's quickly 0-2 on Gorman. As the sun is setting in downtown St. Louis on a Saturday evening. As Ray steps back in and delivers the 0-2 pitch to Gorman. Gorman lines it into left. That's going to be a base hit, and the Cardinals have their first hit of the game. It'll be first and second with one out for St. Louis here in the bottom of the second. And it will bring up the Cardinals right fielder, Jordan Walker. Walker hitting .240 on the year, 4 home runs. He's drove in 31. As the Cardinals attempt to get a rally started here as they have first and second with one out. Down by 6 here in the bottom of the second. And the pitch from Ray to Walker, fouled away, strike one. Walker went deep last night for the Cardinals in their 5-0 win over the Cubs. Walker swings through this one, and it's quickly 0-2. As Walker asks for time. Walker steps back in and awaits Colin Ray's 0-2 pitch. Here it is. Low and outside, a ball, 2 strikes. Ray delivers the 1-2 pitch to Jordan Walker. Low and outside again. It's now even 2-2. Ray looks in and delivers the 2-2 pitch to Jordan Walker. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That was about the same spot as his previous 2 pitches, but this time he got Walker to chase, and Ray has his 3rd strikeout. And it will bring up the Cardinals catcher with 2 outs here in the inning, Yoel Pozo. Hitting .274, 4 home runs on the season. He's drove in 17. With 2 on now with 2 outs. Pozo takes high for ball 1. 1-0 pitch from Ray to Pozo. Here it comes. Foul back, a ball and a strike. Pozo steps in and awaits the 1-1 pitch from Colin Ray. Foul back, 1-2. Had a good cut at it, but fouled it straight back. Ray looks in and delivers the 1-2 pitch to Pozo. In the air, right field. Who wants it? It's going to be the second baseman there, Horner, making the catch, and the Cardinals strand runners at first and second here in the second. We've played 2 in St. Louis. Cubs 6, Cardinals nothing. Cubs are going to have the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Happ, Horner, and Swanson, due up in the top of the third inning, as Ray gets out of a little bit of a second inning jam and keeps the Cardinals off the scoreboard. Yeah, I plan on being back tomorrow night on this live stream for the finale of this 3-game series between the Cubs and Cardinals. That game will be tomorrow night. Plan on being back on with you for another live stream on that one tomorrow night. Rest of the week is kind of up in the air. I'd like to be back on the air with you Tuesday night. After that, we will see how that goes, but definitely plan on being back on with you tomorrow night for the finale of this 3-game series, and look to be back with you Tuesday night as well for the Cubs and Blue Jays game up in Toronto. That's an important series, midweek series. We'll see how that goes. I do have a full-time job, so I'll have to see how the work schedule works, if the work schedule cooperates for me to be on with you on Tuesday night. But here's we get set to go to the third inning in Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Happ, Horner, and Swanson due up on one of the best settings for a Major League Baseball game, Busch Stadium in St. Louis, especially as the sun goes down. You can see the sun beating off the gateway arch there beyond the outfield wall. Great, great sight there. One of the best backdrops in all of Major League Baseball. The St. Louis skyline. So here's Happ to lead off. It will be Happ to lead off the top of the third. Graceffo will be back out there. He only threw 1 pitch and got out of the top of the second inning. As the Cub fans out in full force in St. Louis, as they usually always bring a nice contingent of fans. First pitch, top of the third, is a strike to Ian Happ. Happ grounded out his first time up back in the first inning. Pitch on the way is inside, 1-1. One pitch on the way to Happ. That's high, 2-1. Happ steps back in and awaits the 2-1 pitch. Inside, now 3-1. Three-one pitch on the way. Here it is. Happ fouls it away, and the count runs full, 3-2. 3-2 payoff pitch on the way to Happ. Line into center field, and that will be what are they calling that? They're calling it a catch in center field by Nootbaar. One down here in the Cubs' third. That's a good catch out there in center field. One down in the inning, and here's Horner. At the knee, strike one. Strike two. It's quickly 0-2 to Horner. Tell you, if Nootbaar doesn't make that catch in center field, that ball may end up going by him. And Happ may be standing at least second base, possibly even third base. That was a nice catch out there in center field. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Horner. Pin line to short. And the catch made there by Wynn for out number 2. 2 down in the inning, and it'll bring up Dansby Swanson. Swanson a single his first time up. That was against the starter Palante. Pitch to Swanson down low, ball 1. As the strike or the ball 1 pitch is a strike, 1-1. Mentioned this one of the long-time rivalries in Major League Baseball. The teams have played over 2,500 games against each other. The first meeting between these two teams was back in 1885. And the rivalry continues. 1-1 is fouled off. It's a ball and 2 strikes. One and 2, the count on Swanson. The 1-2 pitch to Swanson. Low and outside, 2-2. Swanson started to offer, but held up. Here comes the 2-2. Ripped into right. That's a base hit for Swanson. And he's aboard with a 2-out single. Swanson 2 for 2 on the night so far, and it will bring up Shaw, the number 9 hitter. Shaw walked and scored his first time. Shaw, that's fair, down the left field line. Swanson's going to score easily. Shaw is heading in, and Swanson scores, and Shaw is safe at third with an RBI triple to score Swanson. It's 7-0 Cubs. Shaw with his first triple of the season. It drives in Dansby Swanson, and the Cubs continue to add to their lead as it is now a 7-0 game. Shaw did not stop at second base. He was thinking triple all the way. And we're back to the top of the order. Bush, who just hit the 3-run home run his last time up, takes a strike. So the Cubs now lead this game by a touchdown, 7-0. And the strike one pitch to Bush. Fouled away. It's 0-2. Bush steps back in and awaits the 0-2 pitch. Down and low, 1-2. Another good stop back there behind the plate by Pozo. Shaw the lead from third base, and the 1-2 pitch on the way to Bush. Just missed. 2-2. Two-two pitch to Bush. On the ground, backhanded by the shortstop. Throw over to first in time, and that'll do it for the Cubs in the third inning. But they add another run on the RBI triple by Shaw. We head to the bottom of the third in St. Louis. It's now the Cubs 7 and the Cardinals nothing. Cardinals will have the 9, 1, and 2 hitters, Sagasy, and then the top of the order, Nootbaar and Herrera. Due up now in a 7-run hole in this one. Cubs trying to get back in the Central Division race. They trail Milwaukee by 5 in the Central entering the day. Still atop the wild card race. Brewers are tied with the Mets currently 2-2 in Milwaukee. That game is in the top of the fourth inning. And the Cardinals come in 8 out of the first wild card spot behind the Cubs. The Cardinals going to have to get on some kind of run here to get back in the postseason picture. There's still 45 games left, but they're not helping themselves tonight, down 7-0. As Ray will go back to work here for the Cubs, and Sagasy will lead it off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the third inning. Sagasy is a .239 hitter. He's got a home run on the year. He's drove in 10. This is his 39th game of the year. He's appeared in, and then it'll be the top of the order, Nootbaar and Herrera. For the Cardinals, need to find some kind of offense here as they find themselves now down by 7 in this game. Had a chance in the last inning with runners at first and second, but stranded them. Update on a couple of those Major League Baseball games. Angels now lead the Tigers in Detroit 6-4, bottom of the 6th. As Sagasy starts the bottom of the third and takes high for ball 1. One-0 pitch. Foul back, ball and a strike. Sagasy steps back in and awaits Ray's 1-1 pitch. Off of Ray's glove, hit to second base, and the throw over to first in plenty of time to retire Sagasy for the first out. And we're back to the top of the order, Nootbaar, who was a strikeout victim against Ray his first time. One of 3 strikeout victims against Colin Ray so far in this one tonight. And the pitch to Nootbaar is a strike. Temperature still in the high 80s in St. Louis on this Saturday night as the 0-1 pitch is lined and caught. Shaw with the grab there at third base for out number 2. That was a liner. 2 down very quickly for the Cardinals here in the third, and it'll bring up the DH Herrera, who was also a strikeout victim his first time up. Pitch to Herrera right down the middle, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch on the way from Ray to Herrera. Here it comes. Fouled away, and it's quickly 0-2. The strike 2 pitch from Ray to Herrera, low and outside, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Check swing foul, and we'll do it again. One-two pitch. Low and outside again. It's now even 2-2. Check swing over to first, but the first base umpire says no swing. First base umpire tonight, Edwin Jimenez. And the count's even 2-2, and here comes the 2-2. Bounding foul, third base side. Herrera hanging in here. Again, a 2-2 pitch from Ray to Herrera. Down low, and the count is now full, 3-2. Payoff pitch from Ray to Herrera. Inside corner, got him. Great location. And Ray strikes out Herrera on the inside corner, and a 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the third. We head to the fourth. Still 7-0. Cubs lead the Cardinals. Let's update that Major League Baseball scoreboard for you here between innings. And the Angels lead Detroit 6-4. That game's heading to the top of the 7th. Reds and Pirates 1-1 in Pittsburgh, top of the 7th. Reds currently the third place team in the National League Central right now. A's have busted it open in Baltimore. They now lead 7-3, top of the 5th inning. Cleveland leading the White Sox 2-1 on the south side of Chicago, bottom of the 4th. Royals have taken the lead in Minneapolis, 1-0 over the Twins, bottom of the 5th. Mets and Brewers, that game's still 2-2, top of the 4th. Second game of the doubleheader, Marlins leading the Braves in Atlanta 4-0. Marlins trying to stay in the wild card picture. Rangers still lead the Phillies 1-0 in Arlington. That game's in the bottom of the 4th, just underway in Phoenix, Rockies and Diamondbacks. And coming up here in about 15 minutes out in San Diego, the Red Sox and the Padres. About 45 minutes away from the series of the weekend at Dodger Stadium, the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. And about a little over an hour away in Seattle from first pitch, the Rays and the Mariners. 3 finals from earlier today in game 1 of that doubleheader. The Braves beat the Marlins 7-1. Yankees got a 5-4 win over the Astros in the Bronx, and the Nationals beat the Giants out in San Francisco 4-2. That's the rundown of the Major League Baseball scoreboard. And of course, also in the sports world, we got the NFL starting their preseason slate. Boy, what a scary moment that was in Atlanta last night. In that Lions-Falcons game. Talk more about that here probably in the next half inning. Had to stop that game in the fourth quarter. The scary, scary injury in that game out there. Here we go, top of the fourth in St. Louis. Cubs leading 7-0. And a ball to lead off the top of the fourth. To Suzuki, who's 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. Has scored one of the Cubs' 7 runs in this game. And there's a strike. 1-1. Racifo back out there on the mound for the Cardinals. And here's the 1-1 pitch to Suzuki. That misses a little high, 2-1. Comes the 2-1 pitch from Suzuki, or to Suzuki, I should say. Swing, and oh, that got the catcher. Boy, Pozo took the brunt of that one, and he's down behind home plate. Now, the toughest position as a baseball player, behind the plate there. Pozo is back up. Home plate umpire giving Pozo a minute here. And Pozo is back ready to go. As are we. And the 2-2 pitch to Suzuki. Fouled away, and we'll do it again. Another 2-2 pitch to Suzuki. In the air, left center field. Calling for it out there, the left fielder, Burleson, and he's got it for the first out in the top of the fourth inning. And it will bring up Kyle Tucker. Tucker in the game is 1 for 2. Drove in a run with an RBI single back in the first. He's also scored a run in this game. As the sun sets over downtown St. Louis on a Saturday night, the pitch to Tucker, well high, ball 1. Pitch down low on the 1-0. It's now 2-0 to Tucker. Here's the 2-0 offering. Check swing foul. It's now 2-1. That got Pozo again. Boy, he's taking a beating back behind home plate in this inning. Two-one pitch on the way to Tucker. That pitch was low. Check swing, and home plate umpire Bill Miller says Tucker went too far, and it's 2-2. Two-two pitch. That's down low, and the count goes full now, 3-2. Three-two payoff. Foul back, and we will do it again. Be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Tucker awaits the 3-2 payoff pitch, and here it is. Popped up. Behind home plate, is it playable for Pozo? It is not. It reaches the seats, and we'll do it again. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up from Graceffo to Tucker. Here it comes again, the 3-2. Ball 4, and Tucker draws a walk. A great at-bat for Tucker, and he's aboard with 1 out. And it brings up the Cubs catcher and cleanup hitter Carson Kelly. Kelly's 2 for 2 on the night. Drove in one of the Cubs' runs and scored a run. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch, fouled away, and it's 0-2. Kelly steps back in and awaits the 0-2 pitch. Graceffo now nearing the 40 pitch mark in relief. Here's the 0-2. Instead, a look over to first. Diving back in safely is Tucker. That pitch down low, 1-2. Tucker does have a stolen base tonight. That's why Graceffo keeping an eye on him over there at first base. And the 1-2 pitch to Kelly. Down low, 2-2. Kelly steps back in, and here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fouled away, right field side, and we'll do it again. Well, the Cubs hitters are making Graceffo work here in the fourth inning. Pete Crow Armstrong on deck, one of the Cubs that does not have a hit so far tonight. And Graceffo steps off before the 2-2 pitch. Kelly ready now, and now the 2-2 pitch. Down low, and the count goes full again, 3-2. Let's see if Tucker is off on the pitch here with one out from first base. Pozo has taken a beating behind home plate here in the top of the fourth inning. Here comes the payoff pitch. On the ground and through into left center field for a base hit. Tucker rounding second, heading to third, and the Cubs have runners at the corners with one out in the fourth. Kelly now 3 for 3 on the night. And the batter is Pete Crow Armstrong, who's 0 for 2 so far. That is already 10 hits for the Cubs. And we're only in the top of the fourth inning. And that looks like it's going to do it. Well, a meeting on the mound here. So that's actually the pitching coach, Dusty Blake, out there having a meeting on the mound. So here's Pete Crow Armstrong with runners at the corners and one out. Cubs looking to add to their 7-0 lead here in the fourth. And the pitch on the way. Strike one. Pete Crow Armstrong, I think, thought that pitch was a little high. Steps back in quickly and awaits the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. Tucker standing at third. Kelly is aboard at first for the Cubs. One out here in the fourth. And the 1-1 pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Oh boy, he was swinging for the fence on that one. 1-2. One-two pitch on the way to Pete Crow Armstrong. Popped up. Or Armstrong frustrated there. That's not very deep. The catch made, and the runners have to hold with 2 outs. That was not very deep at all, as the shortstop Wynn went back into shallow left field to make that catch. So runners at first and third now with 2 outs. And it'll be up to Ian Happ. With the RBI chance with 2 outs. Happ has an 0 for 2 night going so far. Strike one on the inside corner. Happ has grounded out and lined out in the game, 0 for 2. The pitch to Happ is lined into right for a base hit. Tucker scores. RBI for Happ, and it's 8-0 Cubs. Happ drives in Tucker for the Cubs' 8th run. Cubs now 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position tonight. And they have scored in every inning so far. And it'll bring up Nico Horner. Horner hits it to the shortstop. Long throw across in time, and that will do it for the Cubs in the top of the 4th. But they add another run. As we go to the bottom of the 4th, it is now the Cubs 8 and the Cardinals nothing. Cardinals will send up Burleson, Contreras, and Wynn here at the bottom of the 4th inning. They've only been able to muster 1 hit so far against Colin Ray. As they have got to find the offense and get the offense going from somewhere in this one, as they are in an 8-run hole to go to the bottom of the 4th. It's mentioning that injury in the NFL preseason game last night between the Lions and Falcons, a scary, scary injury. Maurice Norris of the Lions. They had to halt that game in the 4th quarter. Lions safety Maurice Norris had to be removed from the game. Still in an Atlanta hospital in stable condition. Looked like a nasty injury. His head had snapped back, going for a tackle. The scary, scary injury for Norris in that preseason game last night. Update on a couple of Major League Baseball games. Angels have added to their lead in Detroit 7-4. That's in the top of the 8th. Reds have taken the lead in Pittsburgh 2-1, top of the 8th there. Mets have taken the lead in Milwaukee over the Brewers 4-3. That's good news for the Cubs, bottom of the 5th in that one. Rockies have taken a 3-1 lead over the Diamondbacks. That's in the 2nd inning. Couple of updated Major League Baseball scores for you. Here we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Cardinals trailing 8-0, and it will be Burleson to lead it off in the bottom of the 4th and taking ball 1. Burleson grounded out his first time up back in the 1st inning. And there's a strike, 1-1. One on the ground, foul, first base side. Now a ball and 2 strikes. Two, or 1-2 rather, is foul. Stays 1-2. Ray delivers another 1-2 pitch to Alec Burleson. Outside, 2-2. Burleson will be followed by Contreras and Wynn, the 3-4-5 hitters for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 4th. And Ray's 2-2 pitch. Burleson fouls it off. Third base side will do another 2-2. Two-two pitch. Another foul ball. Burleson staying alive here, as this will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And Colin Ray on the mound, now up to 51 pitches here in the 4th inning. Burleson steps back in and awaits another 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a pitch that was down low. And Ray has his 5th strikeout. 1 out in the inning. Brings up Contreras, who walked his first time up. And the pitch to Ray, or from Ray to Contreras, is ball 1. One 0 pitch, inside 2-0. Here comes the 2-0. That's inside. Now 3-0. It's taking all the way, and it's a strike. 3-1. Ray looks in and delivers the 3-1 pitch to Contreras. In the air, center field. And out there in center, the catch made by Pete Crow Armstrong for out number 2 in the Cardinals' 4th. And it brings up Mason Wynn with 2 outs. He lined out his first time up. Two out, nobody on here in the Cardinals' 4th inning. And Colin Ray's pitch to Mason Wynn. Strike 1. Strike 1 pitch is outside, 1-1. This next pitch will be pitch number 60 for Colin Ray. And the 1-1. Right down the middle, strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes, the count on Mason Wynn. One-two offering, just missed. 2-2. I think Ray thought he had strike 3. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Ray with his 6th strikeout. Cardinals down in order in the 4th. Colin Ray has shut down the Cardinals. Still just allowed 1 hit through 4 innings. We head to the 5th. It's the Cubs 8. Cardinals nothing. Cubs 5th inning. It's going to be Swanson, Shaw, and then the top of the order, Bush. 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Cubs. No runs, just 1 hit and 2 errors for the Cardinals. As the Cubs look to even up this series at a game apiece with the Cardinals and even up the season series with the Cardinals. Be the Sunday night game tomorrow night. And again, I plan on being back with you for a live stream for that game tomorrow night. And the finale of this 3-game set between the Cubs and Cardinals. Following this series here, Cardinals will stay home and be hosting the Rockies for a series starting on Monday. And then the Cubs start that big series up in Toronto starting on Tuesday. They do have an off day on Monday. But a big Cubs-Blue Jays series gets underway on Tuesday night north of the border at the Rogers Center in Toronto. Then the Cubs return home next weekend for a series against the Pirates. This is a big homestand for the Cardinals. They got this series with the Cubs. They're at home with the Rockies in the midweek, and then they stay at home next weekend and have a big series at home next weekend against the Yankees. As we head to inning number 5 in St. Louis, it will be Swanson leading it off. It's 2 for 2 in the game. And it is the third Cardinals pitcher of the night, Ryan Fernandez, on for the 14th time. And a swing and a miss. Fernandez, an 0-2 record, an ERA of 12.6. It is an inflated ERA. And the strike one pitch to Dansby Swanson, strike 2. Here comes the strike 2 pitch to Swanson from Fernandez. Swing and a miss. He got him. Fernandez with a strikeout. And the Fox broadcast tonight is showing a little kid, probably 11, 12 years old, 12-year-old kid behind home plate in an umpire uniform. Strike 1 here to Shaw. Strike 1 pitch is fouled away. That'll reach the seats. It's 0-2. Here comes an 0-2 pitch. On the way from Fernandez to Shaw outside, 1-2. One-two pitch. Foul back. Fox broadcast continuing to show this 11, 12-year-old in this umpire. It's actually quite hilarious. Here comes another 1-2 pitch. Up high, 2-2. Two-two pitch. Popped up. Foul territory and out of play. Here comes another 2-2 pitch on the way from Fernandez to Shaw. Shaw rips one deep to left, and that is going to leave the yard way gone. Shaw sends it out to left, and it is 9-0 Cubs. Number 8 on the season for Shaw. And RBI number 27. And the Cubs are rolling tonight. It is 9-0 in the 5th. That was a no-doubter to left field off the bat of Matt Shaw. That looked like it hit the overhang between the first and second deck there in left field. And here's Michael Busch, who hit a 3-run home run earlier. That came back in the 4-run second for the Cubs. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 up high, 2-1. Fernandez looks in and delivers the 2-1 pitch to Busch. Pop foul, and that is out of play, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Down low, and the count runs full, 3-2. Here comes the full count pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Busch goes down. Second strikeout of the inning for Fernandez. 2 out in the 5th. And it'll bring up Suzuki. Suzuki 1 for 3 on the night. Steps up with the bases empty and 2 outs. Strike 1 to Suzuki. Oh, 1 is low, 1-1. One pitch. On the ground to third. Throw across the diamond is in time to end the inning. But another run for the Cubs on the Shaw home run to left as we are halfway through it. In St. Louis, Cubs lead the Cardinals 9-0. For the Cardinals, it's going to be 6, 7, and 8. Gorman, Walker, and Pozo in the bottom of the 5th. Against Colin Ray, who's at 62 pitches through 4 innings. Cleveland's added to their lead in Chicago. They now lead the White Sox 3-1. A game in the bottom of the 6th. Braves have taken the lead over the Marlins 5-4 in that game, bottom of the 6th, second game of that doubleheader there. Phillies have rallied to take the lead over the Rangers in Arlington 2-1. That's in the top of the 7th. Still 7-4 Angels over the Tigers. Reds still lead the Pirates 2-1. That's headed to the top of the 9th at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. A's all over the Orioles in Baltimore tonight, 11-3. That game's heading to the 7th. Royals still lead the Twins 1-0, bottom 7. Mets still lead the Brewers 4-3, bottom 6. Cubs fans like that score. Rockies 4-1 lead over the Diamondbacks. That game's headed to the third, and the Red Sox have taken an early lead in San Diego, 1-0. Top of the second at Petco. About 10 minutes away from first pitch in LA between the Blue Jays and Dodgers. And coming up in about 40 minutes in Seattle, the Mariners and the Rays. But here it is all Cubs on this one, 9-0 over the Cardinals as we get set to go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Cubs have still scored in every inning. They got 2 in the first, 4 in the second, and a run each in the third, fourth, and fifth innings. As it'll be Gorman to lead off the bottom of the fifth and takes inside for ball 1. Gorman has the only Cardinals hit to this point, a single back in the second inning against Colin Ray. And a 1-0 is a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. The count now on Nolan Gorman. Ray looks in and delivers the 1-1. That's a little too far inside, 2-1. Ray steps right back in and delivers the 2-1 pitch. Fouled off. Counts even now 2-2. Ray's 2-2 pitch to Gorman. Here it comes. Inside, and the count runs full, 3-2. Here comes a 3-2 payoff pitch from Ray to Gorman. Ball 4. That's a leadoff walk in the bottom of the fifth. Second walk allowed by Colin Ray tonight. Leadoff batter on for the Cardinals, and it brings up Jordan Walker. Strikeout victim his first time. One of 6 strikeout victims tonight against Colin Ray. Ray delivers. Ball 1. The 1-0 pitch from Ray to Walker. Walker in the air to center. Barely having to move out there in center field is Pete Crow Armstrong, and he's under it for the first out here in the bottom of the fifth. We'll bring up the catcher, Pozo. Pozo popped out his first time back in the second. And Pozo pops this one up. Foul territory. Is it going to stay in play? It does for the first baseman, Michael Busch. And there's out number 2. Two down for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the fifth. And it will bring up Sagasy, number 9 hitter. And the pitch to Sagasy from Colin Ray, ball 1. One-0 pitch. Foul back, a ball and a strike. Ray, if he can get one more out and get through 5 innings, would be in line for win number 9 on the season. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. That's a little low, 2-1. Two-one pitch. High chopper, foul ball. That was a high chop, and it bounded into foul territory, and it's 2-2. And it's a good thing for Shaw over there at third base that it did bounce foul because he had no chance to throw out Sagasy at first base. So it's 2-2 now. Runner at first, 2 outs. Cardinals down 9 here in the bottom of the 5th. Two-two pitch on the way from Ray to Sagasy. Time call. Ray at 75 pitches right now. Still only allowed the 1 hit in this game. And the 2-2 pitch is hit foul. Have another 2-2 pitch here from Ray to Sagasy with 2 outs. The look and the pitch. And Sagasy staying alive here by fouling this one off. This will be pitch number 7 of the at-bat coming up. Two-two offering. Here it is. Fouled again. Boy, what a battle this is. A great job hanging in here by Sagasy. Another 2-2. That's low, and the count runs full now, 3-2. So the runner at first will be off here on the pitch with 2 outs. The 3-2 payoff. There goes the runner. Sagasy fouls it off again. What an at-bat by Sagasy. This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Another 3-2 payoff pitch. On the ground to second. And the throw over to first, and Ray ends up winning the battle against Sagasy, but what an at-bat. Cardinals done in the 5th. They strand 1. We head to the 6th. Cubs 9, Cardinals nothing. For the Cubs here in the 6th inning, it will be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Tucker, Kelly, and Pete Crow Armstrong. And let's see who they will be facing for the Cardinals on the mound. Now have a final from Detroit. The Angels beat the Tigers at Comerica 7-4. Final score there from Detroit. Everything. Phillies have added to their lead in Arlington over the Rangers. That's now 3-1, bottom 7. Braves have busted it open against the Marlins. They've scored 8 unanswered runs in that game, 8-4, bottom of the 6th. Reds continue to lead the Pirates 2-1. That's bottom 9 in Pittsburgh. But we are set to go to the top of the 6th inning in this one. It is all Cubs on this Saturday night, 9-0. And it looks like Fernandez is going to be back out for his second inning of work for the Cardinals. Facing a dangerous 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Tucker, Kelly, and Pete Crow Armstrong in the 6th for the Cubs. Next half inning, we will update you on other happenings around the sports world. NFL, mentioned NFL preseason fully getting underway this weekend. Here's Tucker leading off the 6th for the Cubs against Fernandez into his second inning of work and a foul ball for strike 1. Kyle Tucker has scored twice, drove in a run, 1 for 2 officially. The 0-1 pitch, a check over to third, no swing. Counts even a ball and a strike. Fernandez 1-1 pitch to Tucker. On the ground, foul, first base side. It's now a ball and 2 strikes. Tucker steps in and awaits Fernandez 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Tucker goes down. That's a third strikeout for Fernandez in relief. 1 away in the inning, and it brings up Carson Kelly. Has a 3 for 3 night going. As nightfall is ascending upon St. Louis, Missouri, and the gateway city. Kelly hit to short. He is not going to be 4 for 4 here. The throw across, and there's 2 outs very quickly for the Cubs here in the 6th. And it will bring up Pete Crow Armstrong. Cubs have 12 hits tonight. Pete Crow Armstrong does not have any of them. He's 0 for 3. Pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong is a ball high. Again, another check swing, but no swing. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1. One pitch on the way to Pete Crow Armstrong from Fernandez. On the ground to second. And the Cubs retired in order, 1, 2, 3. This is the first inning tonight that the Cubs have not scored in. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. In the Gateway City, Cubs lead the Cardinals 9-0. Cardinals will have the top of the order due up in the bottom of the 6th. Nootbaar, Herrera, and Burleson. Other action around the sports world, of course, NFL preseason getting underway. And a full preseason schedule in this first week. And the Patriots in their preseason debut hung 48 on Washington last night. Patriots winning that game 48-18. As the NFL season is just, was it 4 weeks from this past Thursday, opening night? It will be in Philadelphia as they host the Cowboys on opening night. We'll be raising the Super Bowl banner in Philadelphia for the Eagles. Can they get back there in the NFC this year? And again, then in the AFC, can anybody stop the Chiefs in the AFC? We'll have to wait and see how this season plays out. As Thursday, September 4th, opening night in the NFL. And just 2 weeks from today, we will have college football. The 23rd, now we're going to be doing a lot of football on this stream come football season. Going to have 2 games for you that opening week, college football. My tentative plan on this channel is to do 1 FBS and 1 FCS game every Saturday. We'll see how that plays out. That is the tentative plan at this point. No more as the schedule goes on. But here we at bottom of the 6th, top of the order here, Newt Barr leading it off, and Colin Ray back out for the 6th inning. And a strike to Newt Barr, who's 0 for 2. He struck out and lined out tonight. And the strike 1 pitch inside, 1-1. Now a final in Pittsburgh. The Reds have beat the Pirates 2-1. The pitch to Newt Barr on the 1-1 is fouled off first base side. Now a ball, 2 strikes. Cubs fans really keeping an eye on that Mets-Brewers score up in Milwaukee. The 1-2 pitch is hit pretty well into right field. And that's going to be over the head of the right fielder, Tucker. And Newt Barr has himself a leadoff double, just the second hit of the night for the Cardinals. And Newt Barr has a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 6th. And it will bring up Herrera, who's 0 for 2, and that 0 for 2 has dropped his average under 300. Strike 1. Herrera has struck out both times tonight against Colin Ray. 0-1 misses outside, a ball and a strike. One down low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Ray to Herrera. Strike 2. 2-2. Two-two offering. In the air to right. Tucker will have a play this time, and he's under it for out number 1. Newt Barr tags and will head to third. So Newt Barr is at third base with 1 out for the Cardinals. And it will bring up Burleson. Burleson is 0 for 2 tonight. And the pitch. Fouled off, strike 1. That foul ball hit Burleson in the batter's box. Ground out and a strikeout on the night for Burleson. Nootbaar is at third with one out. Trying to get the Cardinals on the scoreboard tonight. Here's the 0-1 pitch. On the ground, that's going to get the Cardinals' first run of the game home. Taking it himself at first base is Bush. Scoring is Nootbaar, and the Cardinals dent the scoreboard. It's 9-1 here in the sixth. So an RBI ground out for Burleson. And it will bring up Contreras with two out. Now the base is empty. Contreras has reached on a walk. 0 for 1 officially. Ball one. The 1-0 pitch to Contreras. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Brewers have tied up the Mets in Milwaukee 4-4. Bottom of the seventh. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Back up the middle. Backhanded. The off-balance throw and not unable to be dug out at first base. Horner tried an off-balance throw over to Bush, and Bush could not corral it at first base. And Contreras reaches. Yeah, it's going to be scored an infield hit for Contreras. And the batter's Mason Wynn. Yeah, that was going to be a tough play, even if the Horner's throw would have been on target. That was going to be a tough play to get Contreras at first base. And now a meeting on the mound here as Ray is approaching the 100 pitch mark. So Wynn the batter. He is 0 for 2 tonight. And the pitch is a strike. The 0-1 pitch to Wynn. A little outside, a ball and a strike. Ray looks in and delivers the 1-1 pitch to Mason Wynn. Here it is. On the ground to third. Going the short route to second, and that will do it for the Cardinals in the bottom of the sixth. But they do get on the board with the run. We head to the seventh in St. Louis. Cubs still in command, leading this game 9-1. Cubs will have 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup. Happ, Horner, and Swanson due up here as the Cubs get a quality start tonight from Colin Ray. 6 innings, 3 hits, just the 1 run, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Is his night over at 98 pitches is the question. As we are set to head to the top of the 7th inning. The Brewers have now taken the lead over the Mets in Milwaukee, 7-4. That game's still in the bottom of the seventh. So that big oh no was the sound of Cub fans with the Brewers taking the lead in that game. Happ, Horner, and Swanson here in the seventh for the Cubs. Fernandez is back out there for his third inning of relief for the Cardinals. Or is going to be back out there for his third inning of relief. Padres have tied up the Red Sox 1-1. That game is heading to the third. Phillies still lead the Rangers 3-1. That game now in the top of the eighth inning in Arlington. And Cleveland continuing to lead the White Sox 3-1. That game's headed to the eighth. Here it's 9-1 Cubs as we head to the top half of the seventh inning. It's going to be Happ leading it off against Fernandez. First pitch, top 7, ball 1. Happ is 1 for 3 tonight, and the 1-0 pitch is high, now 2-0. Couple defensive changes here for the Cardinals. Burleson moves from left field to first base, and Garrett Hampson comes into the game to play left field. And there's a strike called to Happ, now 2-1. 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 2-2. It was a hard swing by Happ. Happ drove in one of the 9 Cub runs with an RBI single back in the fourth. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. Fernandez with his 4th strikeout of the night. He came in with just 7 on the season. 1 down in the inning, and it brings up Nico Horner. He's got a hitless night going, 0 for 3. And a strike on the outside corner. Strike 1 pitch. In the air to left field, coming on and able to make the sliding catch in left field is the new left fielder, Hampson, who just came into the game defensively in the top of this inning. 2 down. Great sliding grab there in left field by Hampson. 2 out, and the batter will be Dansby Swanson. Swanson 2 for 3 tonight, and takes outside, ball 1. Swanson singled twice, scored twice for the Cubs tonight. The 0-1 or the 1-0 was foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fernandez steps in and delivers the 1-1 pitch to Dansby Swanson. Line, that's into right center field for a base hit. Swanson with his 3rd hit of the night. Took a wide turn around first, but will retreat back to first and be satisfied with a 2-out single. And it will bring up Shaw. Shaw homered his last time to left field, and he's also tripled in the game. And the pitch from Fernandez to Shaw. Swing and a miss, strike one. The 0-1 pitch on the way to Shaw from Fernandez. Popped up. Right side, who wants it? It's going to be the right fielder out there. Walker with the catch. Cubs retired in the 7th. No runs. And one hit and they strand one. Stretch time in St. Louis. It's the Cubs 9, the Cardinals 1. It will be 6, 7, and 8 in the Cardinals lineup. Gorman, Walker, and Pozo due up in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cardinals still in a big hole. And only 9 outs left to try and make a big rally in this one. Still 7-4 Brewers leading the Mets. That's in the top of the 8th in Milwaukee. The Cubs came into the night 5 back of the Brewers in the National League Central. And the Brewers, the best team in baseball since mid-June. And they are continuing their hot streak as they have come back to take the lead on the Mets tonight. Brewers winning 3-2 in that game last night over the Mets. So the Brewers continuing their just red-hot streak over the last 2 months. As the Brewers are eyeing a deep postseason run this year, looking for their first World Series championship. Cubs continuing to be the number 1 wild card spot in the National League. And they're up big in this one tonight, 9-1. Colin Ray's night is over for the Cubs. After 6 innings. And the new Cub pitcher is Caleb Thielbar, out for the 50th time. 2-3 record. ERA of 2.34, 12 walks, 40 strikeouts, 42 and a third innings. So a quality start for Colin Ray tonight, as he stands to get win number 9 on the season for the Cubs. First pitch, Thielbar, bottom 7, strike 1. To the leadoff batter for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 7th, Nolan Gorman. He's reached base both times on a single and a walk. Strike 1 pitch is foul. It's quickly 0-2. Cardinals were held to 3 hits by Colin Ray. Here's the strike 2 pitch from Thielbar down in the dirt, 1-2. Thielbar delivers the 1-2 pitch to Gorman. Foul ball. Gorman stays alive. Thielbar looks into Gorman once again and delivers a 1-2 pitch. Hit foul again. Gorman hanging in here. Thielbar steps back in again and delivers the 1-2 pitch. Another foul ball by Gorman. will be pitch number 7 of the at-bat. As Gorman steps in and awaits another 1-2 pitch. In the air to left. Playable out there for Ian Happ, and he's got it for the first out of the bottom of the 7th. And it will bring up Jordan Walker. Hitless in 2 trips tonight. A strikeout and a flyout tonight for Walker. Walker rips it to third off the glove, and Walker's going to have an infield single. Shaw made a diving attempt on that, but was unable to come up with it. And even if he comes up with that diving play, I don't think he had any chance of throwing out Walker at first base. That's going to be an infield hit. And it will bring up the Cardinals catcher Pozo. Pozo takes strike 1. Pozo's 0 for 2 on the night, a pop out and a foul out. And the strike 1 pitch. Pozo fouls it off. He's quickly down 0-2. Oh-2 pitch to Pozo. Down low, 1-2. Thielber steps off. Resets and delivers the 1-2 pitch to Jordan Walker. Ripped to short, and that's caught on a line drive by Swanson for out number 2. Walker holds at first. 2 down in the Cardinals' 7th, and here's Sagasy, the number 9 hitter. Sagasy's 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out a couple times. And the pitch is on the outside corner, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch is outside, 1-1. One pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way to Sagasy. Foul back. Stays alive. Here's the 1-2. High and outside, 2-2. Two-two pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Sagasy looks at strike 3. Cardinals retired in the 7th. We head to the 8th. From St. Louis, Cubs lead the Cardinals 9-1. It will be the top of the order for the Cubs. Bush, Suzuki, and Tucker in the top half of the 8th inning. Looking to, at the very worst, stay 5 behind the Brewers in the National League Central. and keep that #1 wildcard spot in the National League. Brewers continue to lead that game over the Mets in Milwaukee, 7-4, bottom of the 8th. Braves 8, Marlins 6, end of 7. That's the second game of the doubleheader there. Phillies lead the Rangers 3-2. That game's headed to the 9th. Diamondbacks have come back to tie the Rockies 4-4 in the bottom of the 5th. Red Sox have taken a 3-1 lead over the Padres in San Diego. Bottom of the 3rd coming there. Blue Jays, Dodgers, 0-0 in the series of the weekend. That's in the top of the 3rd. Rays and Mariners set to get underway. A's all over the Orioles in Baltimore, 11-3. That game's heading to the 9th. It's just gone final in Minneapolis. The Royals shut out the Twins 2-0. Cleveland continuing to lead the White Sox 3-1. That's in the bottom of the 8th. The rest of the games around Major League Baseball on this Saturday. 4th pitcher of the night for the Cardinals as Fernandez night is done. It's going to be Rodri Munoz on for the 8th time. ERA of 8.22. 5 walks, 9 strikeouts, 7 2/3 innings. 4th pitcher of the night for the Cardinals. And he will face the top of the order for the Cubs in the 8th inning. Bush, Suzuki, and Tucker. And Munoz's first pitch to Bush is ball 1. Bush hit a 3-run home run back in that 4-run second for the Cubs. It's 2 for 4 officially. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Hit foul, 1-1. One pitch. Foul ball. That got Bush's foot. 1-2. Bush going to walk that one off. A lot of padding on a baseball player and a baseball batter, but that's the one place that does not have any, the top of your foot. That's going to sting. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Bush sends it in the air to right. Playable out there in right field for Jordan Walker, and he's got it for the first out in the top of the 8th inning. And it will bring up Seiya Suzuki. Suzuki 1 for 4 on the night. And the pitch is low for a ball. Suzuki's hit came in the second. It was a double, and he scored a run in this game. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Down low, it's 2-0 to Suzuki. Munoz looks on and delivers the 2-0 pitch to Suzuki. There's a strike, 2-1 now. Well, 2-1 pitch. Inside, now 3-1. 1 1 pitch inside now 3 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 Munoz delivers the 3-1 to Suzuki. At the knee, strike 2. Count runs full, 3-2. Suzuki steps back in and awaits the 3-2 payoff pitch from Munoz. Here it is. Down low, ball 4. Suzuki draws a 1-out walk here in the 8th. And it will bring up Kyle Tucker. Tucker 1 for 3 tonight. He's also reached on a walk, scored twice. Tucker swings through that one, strike 1. Cardinals will have the top of the order due up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the strike 1 pitch to Tucker. Way high and way outside, 1-1. Suzuki stands at first base for the Cubs. 1 out here in the 8th. And Munoz 1-1 pitch to Tucker. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Suzuki leads from first. And the 1-2 pitch. It's low and inside, 2-2. Kelly is on deck for the Cubs. He's got a 3-hit night tonight. 2-2 pitch. On the ground to second, they only have one play, and that's hit to first. Suzuki was off on the pitch to stay out of a double play, and it worked. Out number 2, and it will bring up Kelly. So the Cubs have a runner in scoring position in Suzuki with 2 outs. It is not going to be Kelly. We're going to see a pinch hitter here. Reese McGuire be the pinch hitter, hitting at .238, 6 home runs, 16 RBIs. So McGuire will come on and catch in the bottom of the 8th inning in Kelly's spot. And the pitch is high for ball 1. Suzuki, the lead from second base, and the 1-0 pitch from Munoz to the pinch hitter McGuire. Strike 1. McGuire steps back in and awaits Munoz 1-1 pitch. Here it comes. Up high, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Munoz to McGuire. Foul back, 2-2. Two and two with 2 outs. Here in the 8th, and Munoz will deliver the 2-2 to McGuire. McGuire fouls it off to stay alive. McGuire steps back in and will await Munoz's 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Fouled away again. McGuire staying alive here, as this will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Suzuki, the lead from second. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. McGuire's down, as are the Cubs in the 8th. They strand Suzuki at second. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning in St. Louis. Cubs lead the Cardinals 9-1. It'll be the top of the order for the Cardinals, due up in the bottom of the 8th. Nootbaar, Herrera, and Burleson. As the Cardinals down to their final 6 outs of this one. Nine runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Cubs in this one. 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Cardinals. Cubs have left 7 runners on base tonight. Cardinals have left 5. Still 7-4, Brewers leading the Mets in Milwaukee. That game's in the top of the 9th. As the Brewers look to stay 5 up on the Cubs in the National League Central. Cubs going to their 3rd pitcher of the night. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's going to be Taylor Rogers. He's making his 4th appearance of the year. Fourth appearance of the year as a Cub. He was acquired from the Reds. So just making his 4th appearance in a Cubs uniform. He's the Cubs' 3rd pitcher of the night. Cardinals have used 4 pitchers tonight. And McGuire, who came on to pinch hit for Kelly there in the top of the 8th, has taken over behind the plate. He is the new catcher. Here's Nootbaar to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Cardinals. And strike 1 from Rogers to Nootbaar. Strike 1 pitch. It's now 0-2. Nootbaar scored the only run of the Cardinals for tonight. Only run for the Cardinals tonight on an RBI ground out, and Nootbaar swings and misses for strike 3, and there's the first out in the bottom of the 8th. And it will bring up Herrera, who has an 0-for-3 night going. Rogers pitch to Herrera is a little inside. Ball 1. It is now a final. The Brewers have beat the Mets 7-4. So the Cubs will look like to remain 5 behind the Brewers. That's past third. Into left field for a base hit for Herrera. He's going to be in at second with a 1-out stand-up double here in the bottom of the 8th. 5th hit of the night for the Cardinals. Second double of the night. And it will bring up Alec Burleson, who has an 0 for 3 evening going. Burleson takes ball 1. One 0 pitch from Rogers to Burleson. Down low, 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Now 3-0. See if they give Burleson a green light here on 3-0. Put the score 9-1. He does not have a green light and takes a strike, 3-1. Herrera at second off the 1-out double and the 3-1 pitch. That's ball 4. And the Cardinals have 2 on with 1 out here in the 8th. And it will bring up Hampson, who will get his first at bat of the game. Hampson hitting at just 125 on the year. But a great chance here. Hitting 125 on the year in a Cardinals uniform, I should say. Hampson was acquired from the Diamondbacks, and it's now strike 1, 1-1. Overall average on the season for Hampson is 153. Two on, 1 out for the Cardinals, and the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Hampson steps back in, and the 1-2 pitch on the way from Rogers. A little inside, 2-2. Two-two pitch from Rogers to Hampson. Hit foul. Another 2-2 pitch from Rogers to Hampson. Here it is. Swing and a miss. He got him. 2 down in the 8th. Brings up Mason Wynn. He's hitless in 3 attempts tonight. As Rogers steps off. Steps back in, and the pitch to Wynn. Strike 1. A 1 from Rogers to Wynn. Strike at the knees. It's now 0-2. Tell Mason Wynn not too pleased with that call from Bill Miller. And here's the 0-2. Inside, 1-2. 1-2 pitch on the way from Rogers to Wynn. Popped foul. That will get out of play. One and two the count as the young umpire has made a return. 1-2 pitch. Bounced foul, third base side. We'll do it again. Two on here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th for the Cardinals. And Rogers delivers another 1-2 pitch to Wynn. Ripped foul, first base side this time. And Mason Wynn hanging in here. Another 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Hit foul. Good battle here between Rogers and Wynn. Two-two pitch. Wynn pops it foul. That will get out of play. And here will come the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Rogers has thrown a soon to be now a 26 pitch inning. And the 2-2 is hit to first. And the play made single-handedly by Bush to end the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals strand 2. We head to the 9th at Busch Stadium. Cubs lead the Cardinals 9-1. Cubs in the 9th inning will have 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Pete Crow Armstrong, Ian Happ, and Nico Horner. In a 9-1 ball game. As the Cubs are 3 outs away from staying in the number 1 wildcard spot in the National League and staying 5 back of the Brewers. Brewers have beat the Mets 7-4. So the Cubs will not gain any ground on the red hot Milwaukee Brewers. Couple of games have gone final since the last scoreboard update. Phillies have beat the Rangers in Arlington 3-2. And the Braves beat the Marlins 8-6. They sweep that doubleheader over the Marlins. Cleveland gets the win over the White Sox 3-1 and the A's 11-3. Over the Orioles, Rockies and Diamondbacks 5-5 game in Phoenix, top of the 6th. Red Sox 3, Padres 2, bottom of the 4th in San Diego. Blue Jays, Dodgers, 0-0, top of the 4th in that big series at Dodger Stadium. And the Rays score in the top of the 1st in Seattle. They lead the Mariners 1-0. It is 9-1 here. Cubs lead the Cardinals as we head to the top half of the 9th inning. Cubs have 13 hits tonight, but Pete Crow Armstrong, the leadoff batter here in the top of the 9th, does not have any of them. He's got an 0-4 night going. one of two Cubs starters that do not have a hit tonight. Nico Horner's the other. And he's due up third here in the inning. Cubs scored in each of the first 5 innings. 2 in the first, 4 in the second, and a run each in the third, fourth, and fifth. Cardinals got their run in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch, top 9, is ball 1. As Munoz is back out there for his second inning of relief. The 1-0 pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong is low. It's 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Fouled again off of the catcher back there behind home plate. Boy, Bozo has taken a beating back there behind the plate tonight. He's going to have some bruises in the morning. Toughest position on a baseball field. The catcher position. 2-1 pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong. In the air to right. And the catch made out there in right field by Walker for the first out. Pete Crow Armstrong, an 0-for-5 night. Couple of defensive changes. Nootbaar moves from center field to left field. And the new center fielder for the Cardinals is Victor Scott II. Have a pinch hitter here for Ian Happ. Willie Castro will be the pinch hitter. Overall average of .239. Castro acquired from the Twins earlier this season. And the 1-1 pitch. Popped foul. Is it playable? It is not. 1-2 now, the count. Castro steps back in and awaits the 1-2 pitch from Munoz. Here's the pitch. From Munoz to Castro. And a strike. I'm sorry, Castro was retired for the second out, so this is another pinch hitter, John Bertie, for the Cubs. So utilizing a lot of the bench tonight is manager Craig Counsell, and Bertie swings and misses, and he's behind 0-2. The 0-2 pitch from Munoz to the pinch hitter Bertie is down low, a ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch from Munoz to Bertie. In the air, and that will be a foul ball, right field side, and we'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch from Munoz to Bertie. Called strike three, and that will end the top of the ninth inning. Cubs retired in order in the ninth. Last chance coming up for the Cardinals. They need a big rally in the ninth. They trailed 9-1. It will be the top of the order for the Cardinals. Nootbaar, Herrera, and Scott will get his first at bat in the bottom of the ninth inning. And who will be on the mound for the Cubs, and who will they be facing? Rogers threw 26 pitches in that eighth inning. Hard to fathom he'll be back out there. Again, hope to be back with you tomorrow night for the final game of this. Looks like it's going to be the rubber game of this 3-game series between the Cubs and the Cardinals. Plan to be back with you for another live stream on that tomorrow evening. Before the Cubs head north of the border to start a huge 3-game series with the Toronto Blue Jays coming up on Tuesday. That series starts on Tuesday. The Cardinals will stay home after this 3-game series and take on the Colorado Rockies for 3. As it is going to be the 4th Cubs pitcher of the night. As it is going to be Drew Pomeranz on to try to close this out for the Cubs. Pomeranz making his 39th appearance of the season. 2-1 record, ERA of 1.97, 12 walks, 35 strikeouts in 32 innings. Needing just 3 outs here to give the Cubs a win in this one and even up this 3-game series against their rivals from St. Louis. As it'll be the top of the order for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the ninth. Nootbaar will lead it off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the ninth. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Couple of defensive changes to tell you about. Will after this first pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. Castro, who pinch hit for Ian Happ, will stay in the game in left field. And Bertie, who pinch hit for Nico Horner, will stay in the game at second base. Strike one pitch is on the inside corner, now 0-2. And I'm sorry, it's not the top of the order. It's Nolan Gorman leading it off in the bottom of the ninth. 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Cardinals, and that just missed 1 and 2 now. Gorman, Walker, and Pozo will be the line batters here in the bottom of the ninth. And the 1-2 pitch from Pomeranz to Gorman just missed 2 and 2. Cubs are 3 outs away from going back to 18 games over 500. Look out on that pitch, as that almost got Gorman, and the count runs full, 3 and 2. Cardinals in danger of falling back to the 500 mark. The payoff pitch, ball 4, and Gorman draws a leadoff walk here in the ninth. As it'll bring up Jordan Walker. Walker has a 1 for 3 evening going. And Walker, the pitch from Pomeranz. Outside corner, strike one. Walker had a single in the 7th for his hit tonight. The 0-1 pitch, that caught the outside corner as well. It's 0-2. 2-strike pitch to Walker and time called. And the 0-2 pitch from Pomeranz to Walker is hit foul into the seats, first base side. We'll give you one last look at the Major League Baseball scoreboard at the conclusion of this game before I sign off on the live stream tonight. 0-2 pitch to Walker is hit to second. That's going to be 2 out at second, 1 on to first, double play. And just like that, the Cardinals are down to their final out. It'll be up to the catcher Pozo to keep the game alive for the Cardinals. Pozo is 0 for 3 tonight. Last chance for the Cardinals tonight. Pozo takes strike 1. A pop out, a foul out, and a line out for Pozo tonight. Cub fans to their feet at Busch. 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to third. That's off the glove. And Pozo's going to reach. That was off the glove of Shaw. And Pozo reaches on a... Oh, they're going to give Shaw an error on that. And on the replay, that probably is a ball that Shaw should have handled. So the Cardinals not done yet. Sagasy, the number 9 hitter now for the Cardinals, taking ball 1. Sagasy's grounded out twice and struck out, 0 for 3 tonight. Strike 1 pitch or the 1-0 pitch rather, is fouled away. 1-1 now. One pitch on the way from Pomeranz to Sagasy. On the ground and through into right field for a base hit, and the Cardinals have first and second with 2 outs. So the Cardinals not going quietly here in the 9th, and now we're at the top of the order in Nootbaar. Nootbaar 1 for 4 tonight. Doubled and scored the Cardinal run back in the 6th inning. First and second here with 2 outs. The pitch to Nootbaar is swing and a miss, strike 1. The strike 1 pitch, and now 0-2. And now the Cardinals are down to their final strike. Oh, 2 from Pomeranz to Nootbaar, a swing and a miss, and that's going to do it. Pomeranz shuts it down, and the Cubs, an emphatic 9-1 win tonight over the Cardinals to even this series at a game apiece. And that will also even the season series between these two teams at 3 games apiece. The Cubs remain 5 behind the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Central and continue to have the number 1 wild card spot. 9-1 the final, 9 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Cubs, 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Cardinals. Ray picks up the win for the Cubs. That's win number 9 for him on the season. Palante suffers the loss for the Cardinals. In this one, as the Cubs with an emphatic 9-1 win tonight over the Cardinals. Rubber game of the 3-game series tomorrow. One last look at the Major League Baseball scoreboard. A lot of games have gone final now. Braves win game 1 of a doubleheader against the Marlins 7-1. Braves also take the nightcap 8-6. So that puts a serious blow to the Marlins as they're trying to stay in the wild card hunt. Yankees beat the Astros 5-4. Nationals 4-2 win over the Giants in the Bay Area. Angels beat the Tigers 7-4. Reds a 2-1 win over the Pirates tonight. Athletics all over the Orioles 11-3. Cleveland wins in Chicago over the White Sox 3-1. Royals shut out the Twins 2-0 in that AL Central battle. Brewers 7-4 win over the Mets. Brewers stay 5 ahead of the Cubs. Phillies 3-2 over the Rangers, and games currently in progress. 5-5 game, Rockies and Diamondbacks in Phoenix, bottom of the 7th. Red Sox 3, Padres 2, bottom of the 5th. Dodgers have put up 2 against the Blue Jays. Dodgers lead that game 2-0, bottom 4. And the Mariners lead the Rays 2-1, bottom of the 2nd inning. Again, the Cubs win this one 9-1. Rubber game of the 3-game series tomorrow. Cubs and Cardinals. I plan on being back with you on the live stream tomorrow night for that one, to see who takes this series between the Cubs and the Cardinals, these two longtime rivalries. Again, thank you for joining me, everyone. My name is John, Sports Bonanza John, my YouTube page. Appreciate a like and subscribe if you like the content on here. Also have content on Kick and also on Twitch tonight, Sport Guru John. Hope to join you tomorrow night for the live stream for the finale of this series between the Cubs and Cardinals. Thank you, everybody. God bless.